got my gavel. Good evening, welcome to your town hall, having reached the hour of 6:10. I'll call the meeting to order and also inform everybody that, as always, tonight's meeting, guess I'll move this. I don't have to advertise that. I didn't do that, just by the way, just for the record. Tonight's meeting will be recorded. Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilmember Priolo, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Tarina Cromier and Lindsay McWhorter, both middle school students at Onset Trail Middle School. So, Councilmember Priolo.
Father God, we enter into your gates with thanksgiving and your courts with praise. You are Almighty God. We give you all the glory, honor, and praise through your holy name. We invite your presence and the presence of the Holy Spirit to fill these council chambers. In a few minutes, Mayor Tom Murphy will proclaim for the third consecutive year the month of November as Thanksgiving Month. We have much to be thankful for, including the privilege of giving this invocation based on our inalienable rights granted by you, Father God, which are enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of these United States of America. I am grateful to be an American. Following this invocation, two of our cherished students will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. This tradition was begun many years ago. Month after month, year after year, civic-minded parents bring their children into these council chambers at 6 p.m. to model love of country by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I am grateful, Lord, to have such families and an inspiring tradition in our beloved Sahuarita. Last but not least, in this month of Thanksgiving, tomorrow, Veterans Day, we honor the sacrifice and service of all of our veterans and their families who endured their veterans' trials and tribulations, remaining steadfastly at their sides. Lord Jesus taught, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Every veteran who swore to defend our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, inherently knew he or she might be called to make the ultimate sacrifice. This American is deeply grateful for their willingness to do so. Abba, in the name of your Son Jesus, I ask you to bless us with your superabundant grace and grant us your shalom. Please guide our steps and inform our choices. Show us the best path. Direct us to the resources that we need. Connect us with the right people. Grant us ears that hear, eyes that see, and a servant's heart filled with love. We appreciate you, Father God, with hearts brimming with gratitude for your steadfast, unfailing love. All glory to you, the great I am.
Thank you. Lindsay, Karina, step up to the podium.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gillespie.
Here.
Councilmember Rulisk.
Here.
Councilmember Lytle.
Here.
Councilmember Morales. Councilmember Priolo.
Here.
Vice Mayor Egbert.
Here.
Mayor Murphy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thanks. Next is call to the public. Call to the public is now open. Individuals may speak for 3 minutes, spokespersons 10, The council cannot discuss matters not on the agenda. However, at the end of the call to the public, council members may respond to criticism, request staff to review the matter, or add the matter topic to a future agenda item. And we have Rick Corrado. And I know you know the drill. And
I
our
know the
lights
drill.
and the
Happy
whole-
birthday, Mayor, by the way.
thank
I
you.
usually launch into a 3-minute dissertation that I've well practiced, and I read strictly off my notes. But this evening, I wanted to kind of take a moment to say thank you to the council, that I think that you have been listening to our concerns about the water usage with the Copper World Mining Project. In particular, Councilwoman Priolo, who indicated at the last meeting that our concerns were being heard, and I certainly hope so. We stated that she's attending seminars and meetings to get information so that we can make informed decisions. I certainly hope so, but I would like to know how long are we going to listen before we react, or we respond, that would be a better word. And what have we learned? I went on the website and couldn't really find much of anything. And I admit I'm not the brightest tool in the drawer when it comes to using the internet. So if there is something on the town website, I apologize because I couldn't find anything. I thought that the federal administration's accelerating the mining operations and permits were to allow the United States to become more self-reliant and to bring back industrialization to this country. And yet Hudbay, via the Copper World Mining Project, plans to ship all our resources overseas and support the industrialization and middle class of these other countries. And my question is, what about our country? What about our state? And what about our middle class? Evil never sleeps. Evil just waits. And I think that Hudbay is playing the waiting game. And I would reluctantly swallow a lump in my throat as to the unmitigated air pollution. It'd break my heart to watch the destruction of the scenic landscape. And the one thing, though, that I could not tolerate is the gross misuse of our water quantity and quality. Tucson and Pima County rejected the planned Project Blue data center because of this huge amount of water that it was going to use. And the data center pales in comparison to the amount of water that Hudbay is going to use for the Copper World Mining Project. So I've said it before, copper is not the most precious resource in southern Arizona. It's water. And the time for learning and listening is rapidly drawing to a close. Before evil, greed, and power destroys our community, I think it's time for us to kind of respond. If Copper World is to be forced upon us, then it's time to initiate Plan B, to come up with resolutions and ordinances to protect this community, and to protect the community from the manipulation, the filth, and the poison that Copper World Project represents. It's time to respond and be proactive before it's too late. So I appreciate, again, your consideration and thinking about the things that I kind of bring before you. I appreciate that you listen. I've spoken before other bodies before, and I have to tell you, I think of all of the other town councils I've spoken before, at least I feel as though you listen and consider what I have to say. So thank you.
Thanks.
And again, happy birthday, Mayor.
Appreciate it. That was all the speaker cards I have, so I'll move on to Council Town Manager, brief summary of events. Probably mine won't be as brief as I'm articulating here, but Councilmember Lytle?
Thank you, Mayor. This past weekend at Rancho Cerrito, there came the Veterans Memorial Wall. This wall, these plaques and walls represent veterans who gave everything from World War I through Afghanistan. I'm proud to have been a part of it. Also, last week, I had the greatest of honors. I took the honor flight through Washington, D.C. I would recommend all veterans, male and female, go on this. We can talk about our nation's capital. We can talk about the people in it and so forth. But we have to remember all of those who made this possible. So I'm real proud of that, and it'll always sit with me. Thank you.
Thanks. Councilmember Morales? Councilmember Liss?
Of course.
Nothing?
No, I know, I have something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
I
said
said
no.
of course.
Oh, of course. I
got lots of things to say.
No. Like, oh, okay.
First, I want to start off by saying thank you to all the men and women that have served in the armed services, since tomorrow is Veterans Day, and today, for those that served in the Marines, this is the 250th birthday of that. And I do really want to thank Councilmember Lytle and Rancho for bringing in the America's Freedom Tribute. That was amazing, and if people haven't had a chance to go see it, tomorrow's your last day to get to do that. This past week, I got to attend the Arizona Women's Leading Government Conference up in Phoenix. That was really inspirational and really good, and I'm really glad I got an opportunity to get up there and see that. I also I went to the Reader's Picks like many of us did, and I want to congratulate Councilmember Gillespie for winning the best podiatrist in Santa Rita, so congratulations. And then, last but not least, Councilmember Morales and I will be doing coffee with council again on Friday, the 21st, from 8 to 9:30, and we'll be at Rancho Santa Rita at the club. And you do have to be a member of Rancho to attend, but I hope we get to see some people there. So thank you.
Thanks. Councilmember Priolo?
So I'd like to advise everybody that Councilmember Lytle has been nominated for the Veterans Service Award. And many of us will be attending the ceremony, and we are rooting for him to win, to acknowledge his service to this country. We are proud of him.
Thank you.
The other thing is continuing on the water quest. Is it okay for me to say it? Yes?
No.
No?
Well,
No, not yet. Next council meeting. Absolutely.
Actually, Mayor,
Yes.
if you're talking about something that you're going to be doing, I think that's
Or
an update.
going to,
Yeah,
or
going to.
attending.
So, but a direct response to the comments shared
No.
during call to the public is not appropriate.
right,
Correct.
thanks. So it's in your wheelhouse, however you feel comfortable with.
Okay, oh, I feel comfortable with it.
Okay.
So-
But Justin has to feel comfortable, that's
Shut me up if you feel uncomfortable, okay? I'm looking at you, get the cane out and just pull me away. So, Councilmember Lytle, myself, and the mayor will be meeting with Representative Gail Griffith, who is the chairwoman, of the environmental, basically the guru of water in the legislature in Arizona. And she, when she learned of our attendance at the SAWA conference, where we learned so much about water issues here in southern Arizona, she kindly agreed to meet with us. And we will be doing so, continuing our deep dive with open ears and eyes that want to see. And we continue to hear the concerns of our constituents.
Thanks, that was perfect. Upcoming meeting. And our continuing award-winning
Yes?
council member and podiatrist.
I don't have anything.
Oh, yeah. Vice Mayor?
I think every event that I went to and what I was going to say, veterans and Dr. Gillespie and everything, so I'll just do one quick point of personal contact to wish my father a happy birthday, 80th birthday.
Happy birthday.
So that happened this weekend, so just thought I'd make that out to the world, that I gave him a happy birthday.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Again, obviously Veterans Day and myself, we have staff members that have served. Thanks again to Rancho Cerrito for bringing that in. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps, as Kim said. I also was able to attend the Oro Valley along with others of us, State of the Town, which was very nice. They still have more attendance than I, so hopefully Randy's listening as he comes in. We're going to keep chasing them, but that was really good. Myself and Beth, is Beth here? Oh, yeah, they're back in the corner. We met with some of the new board members and continuing board members of the Phoenix Zoo to try to continue that conversation. So that was an exciting opportunity to continually show our excitement for the potential for coming in. I wasn't able to attend, but I am on the advisory board. The Salvation Army had their Red Kettle kickoff. So obviously, I think we're probably one of the only districts in the country that uses all 100% volunteers for the bell ringing. Everybody's very proud of that, so that'll be coming up really soon, and obviously needing folks to do that.
Mr. Mayor, can I interrupt?
Yes.
With that, don't they go to where there is a kettle, they can go to the store and sign up, or how do?
Oh, yeah, no, through the office in Green Valley,
Okay.
they would sign up, and then they would be appointed,
To go.
you know, to go.
Just wanted to make
some-
sure that's out there, because they're always looking for it.
Always
And you
looking
can
for
do it for
volunteers.
families, can go and do it as
They
a
can
wonderful
sing,
service.
people
Yeah.
dress up, students, you know, do it, and a lot
It's
of.
a great service to the community.
Yep, no, thank you for that. There was a Rockin' for Heroes event up in Oro Valley that I represented the town at, and really, really appreciate the PD for going up there. We had our drones, and we had our robotic dog, which is always the hit of our technology that we're using, so I'm really grateful that they were able to make that appearance. And as Councilmember Priolo mentioned, you know, I am proclaiming the month of November as Thanksgiving month in the town of Sahuarita, encouraging all residents to take this time to reflect on the many blessings of our lives and practice gratitude in our daily intentions, which I'm always still humbled when you hear on the different Facebook pages that someone finds a wallet and a shopping cart and they turn it in. I mean, small things, or paying it forward at McDonald's and buying, I mean, those things still continue. So, you know, grateful for that. And as we move through this season, let us be mindful of those around us, extending kindness to our neighbors, and appreciate the people and moments that strengthen our community. And may this month inspire us to give thanks, give back, and continue building a more connected, compassionate Sahuarita. And again, thanks to our Public Works Department, our Boy Scouts. Beth, right, 144 flags, or has that grown anything?
Oh, wow.
280. So I get so many comments about that from people outside and inside our community. And last but not least, I was over at Anza Trail, and they did the table with the white cloth reflecting our POWs, MIA. There was an event at Wrightson Ridge on Friday when I was in Phoenix. I couldn't attend that, but just grateful to the students that do the pledge, and as well as recognizing the various holidays that reflect those that have served or given the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to come here on evenings like this and have a conversation. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is December 8th. And with that, Mr. Dilly, would you like to add anything? Hopefully we didn't miss something, but we may have.
No, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. I do have a few things that I wanted to cover with you. Before I do so, I'm going to ask Beth if she'll come up. She's got a little bit of business to handle with you, and then I'll take the mic and move through my update.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I know we like acknowledging employees who do great things, and this year, our very own Anna Cassidy was the 2025 ACMA Next Generation Mentorship Award winner. And I had the distinct honor of going with her to the Next Generation Conference, where she received her award. So that's what I wanted to share with you about Anna and her accomplishments. So thanks.
Thank you, Beth. We're proud of our staff. Anna, thank you for representing so well. Congratulations on that award. I spent a couple of weeks not too long ago in Japan and had a fantastic experience. Of course, I couldn't help myself but to visit a few police stations and fire stations. And my wife was always reminded me, hey, what are you doing? And I'm looking at infrastructure and, and buildings and walkways and what have you. But it was a fantastic experience, and made lots of wonderful memories with family. But I'm grateful for Beth and Chief Nolan for covering and allowing me the opportunity to have that experience. Completely disconnected, and so I'm paying the price now and trying to do catch up. But it was absolutely wonderful experience, and learning more about that culture, which is a great, very, very great culture. So I have a few announcements or updates for the council. On November 22nd, Saturday, November 22nd, the El Tour de Tucson event is happening. Part of that 102-mile stretch comes through our wonderful community. And in order to support that kind of event, it requires hands-on by a number of our departments, Parks and Rec, of course, PD, Public Works. And so I just wanted to let you know that that's happening. All the coordination and planning is going without a hitch, and so we expect it to be a great event this year. Also in the Parks and Rec category, the Man in the Maze Disc Golf Course. We've been planning and coordinating with our mining partners, ASARCO and Freeport, in supporting the development of that project. After a lot of coordination, they're finalizing delivery of mining equipment to accentuate the theme of that disc golf course. And staff is expressing confidence that the 18-hole course will be open by the end of this calendar year with a lot of those features. So that's going to be pretty exciting. In community development, the general plan 60-day review is still open. It's open until November 30th. Just wanted to put that out there for our public. And it's a great opportunity to weigh in on the next 20 years of our community's growth and vitality. So encourage the public to take advantage of that opportunity. You can find more online on the town's website. We're also excited to announce in HR that we've hired our new risk manager. Her name is Rita Lebsack, and she's starting on December 1st. We stole her from Marana. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Thank you for that.
Wow.
Okay, Miranda. So anyway, we're excited. And then last but certainly not least, actually this isn't last, this is second to the last, but certainly not least, we received yet again the GFOA award for our annual comprehensive financial report. Mayor and council, that marks 23 years in a row that we've got that award.
Thank you, AC.
Congratulations, AC and the team.
AC, how long have you worked for the town? Go, keeping it going. Well done.
And if you could slide, yeah, please.
Oh, another award winner up there.
Another award winner. So this is my last update to the council. Again, definitely not least. I wanted to proudly recognize our assistant town manager, Beth Abramovich. She was recently honored with a national award, which was the LP Cookingham Award for Career Development. She received this award representing the town of Sahuarita at this year's annual International City Managers Conference in Florida. And Anna was there to witness and support and cheerlead, and so it was great. Let me tell you a little bit real quick about LP Cookingham. He was a national icon in the business of city management. He was a city manager for Kansas City, Missouri, from 1940 to 1959. And at the time, in 1959, he at 19 years of service to that community, he had been the longest tenured city manager in the history of the nation. No other city manager had a record that long. And to add to that distinction, he came into Kansas City on incredibly difficult terms. Kansas City was riddled with political corruption and local government corruption. It wasn't just politics, but it was throughout the entire organization. And elections were rigged, and backhand payments were left and right, financial whatever. I mean, it was incredible. When I'm reading this, my jaw is just dropping. And this city manager comes in, and he was under a lot of pressure to fire everybody. Yes, some people were let go that were absolutely necessary, but he also stood firm on maintaining the value of most of the staff there. And so he was attributed with this idea that you've invested in your employees, see the value of that investment and grow from it. And so, to have an award named after this city manager and why is really important. This award is the Career Development Award at a national level, and this year that award went to Beth for her work in our organization to build up our staff and support them in their advancements in their career and what they do for the town. So thank you, Beth. Thank you for your work. And it just another good way to have Sahuarita dead center on the map and getting some national attention. So thank you. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my update.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Congratulations to all. Item 7 is the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed, by nay? Motion carries. We move to item number 8A. Mr. Clerk.
Discussion and possible action on contract number 260028 with the Green Valley Sarita Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center.
Thanks. And Victor Gonzalez, our Economic Development Director, will introduce the item, and we'll also be welcoming Randy Graff, the President and CEO of the Green Valley Sarita Chamber, for a presentation. But because of the ongoing shutdown, he got stuck in Wisconsin. I think he was up there celebrating, if you can believe this, his aunt and uncle for 75 years of marriage. I have never met, I don't know if I ever met anybody personally that's celebrated 75 years, but he got stuck up there, so we're going to Zoom or Teams him in. But Victor?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I am here just to present the item, introduce Randy. I would have if he was here in person, but as you know, he's joining us virtually. I'll just be clicking the slides for him. Randy, if you want to take it away, and let me know when to click next, and I'll advance the slides.
You got it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Thank you, Victor. And Mr. Mayor, town council members, I appreciate the opportunity to give you this brief presentation on the chamber and our activities over the past year in particular. And pardon me for my informality in my attire here, but I didn't bring any formal attire with me up here to Wisconsin, and did get stranded up here and can't get back now till Wednesday. So the flight was canceled this morning. But this is the second time I think I've given a presentation at one of your Monday night town council meetings when the Packers are playing on Monday night here in Green Bay, as a matter of fact. So pardon me for my informality and the Packer gear in the background. I appreciate this opportunity. Victor, if you want to move the next slide. We, just a little history on the chamber. The Green Valley Chamber of Commerce was established in 1979. In 1997, we did a DBA. It changed our name to the Green Valley Sahuarita Chamber of Commerce. We currently, on the post there, it says we have 413 members, but we're actually at 417 as of today, with 101 members that are within the town of Sarita. And I do at this time want to acknowledge my staff. I'm Mia Brown, my Vice President of Operations. Anju Johnson, my executive assistant, Kathy Krismer, my director of communications and events, and our newest addition, PJ Gomez, with our business partnership coordinator with the Elevate at AZ program, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But of those memberships, we've got home-based businesses, we've got brick and mortar stores, nonprofits, Fortune 500 companies, taking care of goods, services, restaurants. So we've got a great mix in our chamber membership, and we are growing. As the community grows, the chamber grows, and we're here about supporting our members. Go ahead, Victor, next slide. Here we are talking about Sahuarita Community and Business Support. We're, as far as the chamber, and we're a business membership organization. We provide marketing opportunities for our members, networking opportunities. We're an advocate for the business community, with the community and at all levels of government. And then we want to provide resources. We've got some tremendous resources that we can provide to our members. One of them is your very own Grow in Sahuarita program. So we recommend when businesses come to town, come to our area, talking about chamber membership, we certainly recommend them to your Grow in Sahuarita program, to outreach to Alex and to Victor. We try to attend and participate in the Grow in Sahuarita events. As a matter of fact, we were there for the entire day with your latest moonshot pitch competition, and we provided 2 complimentary memberships to the top 2 winning companies, Analytical Mindset and the Sahuarita Speech Spot. So, and as a matter of fact, we've done a ribbon cutting for the Sahuarita Speech Spot organization or company. So it's fun to participate in those type of events. We got other resources that we provide our membership through our marketing opportunities, through our website, our email newsletter, the activity guide, so print, social media. We've got a lot of opportunities to market and to help our membership get the word out that they're in town and doing business. Go ahead, Victor, next slide. Some of the things for our local support, we also provide our monthly third Thursday breakfast and business workshops, and we have as many of those workshops as possible at the Sahuarita Town Hall, which we certainly appreciate the use of that facility. We do these the third Thursday of every month. We've been having between 35 and 40 businesses and members show up and attend these. We provide breakfast for the membership, and we bring a speaker in, so there's some good networking opportunities. And we bring speakers in that hopefully can give good information to particularly the small business community. A lot of times it's information that they can take back to their office and begin implementing right away. We also like to promote our members. We've got our Business Expo and Taste of the Valley coming up in January, our annual event, but this past summer we did a Taste of the Valley Summer Edition, where we put it out to the public to visit our chamber member restaurants during July and August. And anybody that did and brought the receipt into the chamber, we put them into a drawing for a $100 gift certificate at the restaurants of their choice. And so we did that in July and August and had a real good response there. Things like that we can do to help, particularly in the summertime, promote. In this case, we were promoting our restaurants and went over well. So we plan on doing that again next year. Other things that we do for the members, we've had executive roundtables. We had one that just is pretty much wrapped up now. It was a 2-year roundtable, and I want to thank your town manager, Shane Dilly, for participating in that particular roundship, because it helped us create our leadership program that I'll bring up in just a little bit. We also we're currently running 2 women's business cohorts, and we're going to continue running these. So my Vice President of Operations, Mia Brown, decided to start up working with our board chair, Rebecca Willer from Continental Spa and Wellness Center, decided to start a women's cohort. We're going to limit it to 12 people. It filled up in one day, and they had a waiting list, so they started up a second one. So this is an opportunity for women business owners to get together and talk about issues within their businesses that and they can help each other and do some networking there. Like I said, I mentioned the restaurant support with the Taste of the Valley Summer Edition. Our Business Expo, one of our big events, and the next one coming up Saturday, January 17th, is a Business Expo and Taste of the Valley. It'll be held up at Desert Diamond Casino, and I want to thank, I've gotten a response back from the Sahuarita Parks and Rec Department again this year. They're going to provide their kids zone, and so we'll be really working on encouraging folks in the town of Sahuarita to come out and visit with. Last year we had about 80 chamber members with their tables and booths. And then we had another 10 restaurants set up in the Taste of the Valley side. So great opportunity for local businesses to get the word out to the public. Last year, I'm guessing we had close to 3,000 people come through the hall. So it's a great opportunity for the community and and I certainly appreciate the town's support and the Parks and Rec Department coming out and providing that support to the youth. Next slide. Other thing we provide are ribbon cuttings. It's a great way to publicize new businesses in town. Some of the photos you see here, the triple play Axe House, Fur and Spurs mobile pet grooming. We did a ribbon cutting for Goitas as a new member of the chamber. Then we had the Sarita Rotary Club at the dinner they had. You got on there also the Helping Hands Behavioral Therapy and Salon La Cañada. So just a few of the ribbon cuttings that we did. These are all businesses registered and within the town of Sarita. So it's a great way. Once again, we publicize these photos through our newsletters, in our email newsletter. We put them out in our activity guide, which is a publication that comes out and is inserted into every issue of the Green Valley News and the Sarita Sun magazines once every 2 months. So anyway, any chances that we can get, and we also put them out in our social media posts. So it's a great way to promote new businesses coming to the community that have joined the chamber. So we share them in every opportunity we can. Next slide, Victor. Some of the chamber activities, we have Chamber Day at the legislature every year, and I know last year I think Mina came up with us, and we'll invite Luke to join us up there this year, where we get an opportunity to meet with our legislators and some of the higher elected officials at the state capitol. That'll most likely be in February. We were certainly privileged to put on the Sarita State of the Town luncheon, and Mr. Mayor, yeah, we were up there at the Oro Valley, and their numbers were a little higher than ours, but next year we will get to 500. You can count on that. And then once again, the Business Expo and Taste of the Valley. That'll be once again Saturday, September the 17th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Desert Diamond Casino. The executive roundtable, or our board of directors. I certainly want to mention that appreciate the town's participation on our board of directors. Victor Gonzalez was on the board for, I believe, 6 years and served as our board chair up until recently. And I think in the past, Mayor Murphy served on our chamber board of directors in a previous life. So we appreciate that kind of support and participation with the chamber and coordination efforts. Next slide.
Hey.
Yay.
Here we go. Supporting the town. We're going to do everything we can. We try to repost the town's Facebook and social media posts. So anything that comes across our wires on behalf of the town, we can share that. Once again, sharing it through our social media posts, in our newsletters, and any other way that we can get that word out there. So, and then the picture on the right there is a list of our chamber investors. We've got 3 upper levels of membership, and we're proud to have the town as one of our chamber champion members. And this information is posted just about everywhere. It's in our visitor center. We've got it on all of our print publications. We share it at all of our major events. So we really appreciate the town's support of the chamber, and that, once again, that cooperative effort. Next slide. We try to participate in as many town events as possible. On the left there, you'll see us in the Winter Festival a few years ago, all lit up. I brought Ivan, my Belgian Malinois, to the Barkerama. Had a good time there. There you've got, I think, Mina with us when we went up to Chamber Day at the legislature. We obviously participate every year in Fiesta Sarita. And you'll see me, you might recognize me there as Batman at your trunk or treat. So we try to get out there to as many town events as we can and make sure that the chamber is represented and that we're supporting the town efforts. Next slide. We've this past year we've introduced 2 new programs. The first one here is the Elevate SGV, the Elevate Sarita Green Valley Leadership Program. This was developed out of that executive roundtable that your town manager participated in. We're just about completed this inaugural inaugural year of our leadership program, It's involved 8 different sessions. We've got 16 participants in this inaugural event. It's over 8 sessions, and it's basically our way of trying to help develop the next round of civic leaders. They get a chance to be involved and learn about all the different aspects going on in the community, everything from leadership traits to meeting with our health and safety folks. We met with your Chief of Police, John Nolan, and Chuck Wonder with the Santa Rita Fire District, Carrie Olvera at Northwest Hospital. So they get that. They get information on the industry in the community, healthcare, you name it. We're meeting on just about everything, different aspects of the senior community, local government. Once again, Shane and Debbie Kenyon from the Green Valley Council gave a presentation on local government. So we're having our graduation on December the 9th at the Sarita Town Hall. We've invited the town council members to join us. You should have gotten an email before I left town last week. So we hope that you can join us at that graduation. And this is something that we plan on continuing year in and year out. So next slide. And the next big effort and project that we've been working on for about a year, and it's just getting really kicked off now, is the Elevate at AZ. This is a workforce development program that was created by the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation back in 2020. Last year, they started talking to chambers around the state and wanting to take it outside of Maricopa County. I'm proud to say we are the first community outside of Maricopa County, so we're sort of a beta test for the program. But they are funding it for the first 2 years. They've hired a district director, a college and career coach for each of the high schools, and they've funded a half-time position at the chamber for a business partnership coordinator. And I want to thank Freeport-McMoRan for a grant that we've been approved on to make that business partnership coordinator a full-time position for the next 2 years. And this is really, it's identified 10 high-wage, high-demand career fields. And we're hoping to get students in the career and technical education program at the Sarita Unified School District to look at these career fields, look at advanced placement opportunities with Pima Community College, at certification projects within the career and technical education system at Sarita. It's a joint effort between the Phoenix Chamber Foundation, our Green Valley Sarita Chamber Foundation, the Green Valley Sarita Chamber, and the Sarita Unified School District. So the support from Dr. Valenzuela and the principals at the 2 high schools has been tremendous, and Josh Fields, the career and technical education director. They've got the 2 college and career coaches now fully embedded in the school and are going to be working with the students. We're looking at job shadowing opportunities, job internships for students, externships where we can get the teachers in some of these career fields out of the classroom during the summertime into the businesses to see what really real world issues that may help them with their education process of the students. So we're really excited about this program. Like I said, they're funding it for 2 years. Then it's going to be on us to maintain this and sustain it. But it's a really strong program and something that I think is really going to be a strong help to the business community here over the long haul. So PJ Gomez, our business person in the chamber, is reaching out to chamber members as we speak to get them on board with internship opportunities and job shadowing opportunities, and getting them into the schools to talk to students about career fields that can hopefully keep these students right here in our community when they graduate high school or through higher education. So it's going to be a real strong program for the community, and I want to thank the town of Sarita and Shane for his participation in this and allowing us to use the town council chambers for some of the some meetings and our Elevate SGV, and with the support of this program. And I think that's pretty much all I got. The next slide is just a thank you, and certainly would like to open it up, answer any questions you have.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. We have so many groups that we participate with and work together on. I think of Dr. V and Randy are our 2 strongest personalities in a positive way moving it forward. You were missed this morning at the Sahuarita Winds meeting, but this came up, and Josh actually talked about, they're gonna be starting a JTED program for chip manufacturing. And we'll be I think the only one in southern Arizona that's gonna be offering it, and we're offering it next year. And they talked about the counselor through the program they hired for Sahuarita High School real recently. So I think it completes everybody that you were looking for to do
Yes.
that. It's been a great partnership. And I really love Elevate SGV, which is Sahuarita Green Valley. So we've got to keep working on the Green Valley Sahuarita Chamber of Commerce. I don't know if that's the right order on that, Randy, but.
I think your town manager might have had something to do with the SGV
Oh,
instead
okay.
of GBS, but
We're
we
getting
were all
there.
more than happy to accommodate that.
No,
It's one
thanks.
step in the right direction.
But on a serious note, obviously known you a long time, worked with you on the chamber for a long time when I was on the board, and really don't have a better partner. So, and I know you said, was it 600 we're going to have at the next State of the Town, I think you said? So, oh, is it are you waving or telling me?
We were at 480 this year, we'll be 500 next year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I'll open up, Shane?
Unless there's
I have one
questions,
thing really
please.
quick.
Yeah, I'll wait.
I just wanted to thank Randy for the Elevate SVG. I have already had a couple of people reach out to me wanting to participate in the next one because of what they've heard and the success. And I wanted to share just an anecdotally. When I was 23 years old, my employer sent me to a program similar to that. And it's where I got to drive a fire truck backwards and failed miserably because I did not realize that the wheels were behind me and not in front of me. But it gave me an opportunity to see what being civic leadership was about. And I believe that program helped me to prepare for this one that I've had for the last 16 years. So I'm grateful that this is happening in our community. So I wanted to share that.
That was only 10 years ago, too.
Yes, just 10 years ago.
You've done a lot in that 10 years. Questions to my right? Thoughts? To my left? Besides? No? Thanks, Randy. Well, at this time.
Mayor, I have
yeah,
just
go
one
ahead. I'm
comment.
sorry, Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. Randy, our partnership, our continued partnership between the town and the chamber, I think is vital for the success of our community. Having a well-balanced community is so important to, maintaining, quality of life. And, the local business part of that balance is really, really important. I hope that partnership continues to grow. In that light, I don't expect to have any kind of answer, or maybe even a response, other than just acknowledgement of the ask. But I would be curious to know if we could move towards that ongoing partnership manifesting itself as, maybe an ex officio member of your board, so that there's always a connection between your board and the town. So is that something that you might be willing to consider? Again, not a hard answer, but could we talk about that and what that might look like and what the possibilities are in that line of thinking?
I'd be happy to have that conversation with you and with my board of directors. Victor mentioned this the other day, and I said, I think that may be a very worthy discussion, along with, we've still got a lot of our past board chairs that are still in the community, and being able to utilize their expertise and their history in the community. So, I think there's some good opportunities to expand those, and certainly look forward to talking to you when I get home.
Hey, thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Thanks, Shane. I know, as Randy mentioned, over time, Victor and myself, Bill Bracco, when he was on the council, he was a part of it. So we've almost always had that connection, but this might be more of a little official way of keeping that connection and that, our voice as part of the directors.
Yeah, that way there's not a lapse.
Right.
There's going to be somebody that's always assigned to sit and participate and be a part of that dialogue and conversation, and that can be brought back to this setting on a regular basis. I
Right.
just think that's a good way to keep that relationship strong.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate that.
I can tell you that, when businesses come and talk to us, to the chamber, they like what's going on in this community. They like what's going on at the chamber. They love the town of Sahuarita, and I advocate for the town all the time. I think you're the most business-friendly town in the state. I don't see how it could get any better. So appreciate that support and happy to have that discussion.
The only way it can get better is for it to be the Sahuarita Green Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
I think.
Did we
I think
choke
I've
you
had
up, Randy? I'm
conversations
sorry.
with the mayor about at some stage how that could happen.
Thanks. At this time, I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I move to approve contract number 260028.
We have a motion. Do I have a
I
second?
second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Randy, and I hope you get back out tomorrow, or at least sometime this week.
Scheduled
Wednesday,
morning.
you're right,
So,
thank you.
With any luck, thanks.
Yep, thank you. Mr. Clerk, item 8B, please.
Presentation, discussion, and possible adoption of the Sarita Economic Development Incentive Program.
Thank you, and we have a return visitor. Victor will be coming up and presenting this item.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Once again, we want to be extremely thorough when we are talking about economic development incentives, and so that's why you see me here for the third time. But we'll go through really the three programs that we're proposing. Nothing different from what was discussed in previous sessions with you, but certainly we'll be a little bit more thorough. And if we can go back to the initial slide. Okay, there we go. So here we go. So just a quick recap, what incentives are. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. We did spend a lot of time, and in one night we actually ran over 10 o'clock, 10:30. So maybe you remember some of it, maybe you don't. But just really want to point out that what we're talking about is an incentive, right? And the incentive is a means to attract new businesses to the community. There might be opportunities for an existing business that is adding substantial value, but the incentive itself is how do we attract those businesses and industries that we want to have in our community that are currently not here. And there's many varieties and projects that we can consider how to incentivize. It's not an entitlement. We're not giving it out, but rather an investment is there is an ROI, a return on our investment. And most importantly, right, that expenditure must serve a public purpose. So it must have a benefit. And we'll get into the specifics of how that works based on the program. So what do we consider? This is just by way of recap. When we're talking about incentives or incentivizing the project, there's three things, right? The incentive must align to the goals that we want to accomplish, right? If we're going to incentivize, we must have goals that we want to meet. And so the Economic Development P3 Master Plan provides that alignment for us. It must have, the project itself must demonstrate to have a public benefit, right? And that's tangible and measurable. So when we're talking about attracting a company to the community, right, that company is going to create jobs, it's going to create wealth, it's going to increase the quality of life. That project is maybe going to increase the tax base in our community, right? All of those things are a public benefit and tangible, and the merit for that is the incentive. And then incentives should be evaluated like any other public investment. So, right, we need to have a demonstrated return on our investment, right? So if we incentivize X, what is Y? That Y could be by way of an increase in tax revenue, the jobs that are created, and that disposable income that comes with those jobs. So all those things we need to consider. Just as a footnote, when we began this journey of incentives and what kind of incentives and programs, we wanted to make sure that we were thorough. So we reviewed best practices and research that was published through the International Economic Development Council. We did some comparative review to other municipal incentive programs, so our neighbors to the north, Tucson, Marana, as well as some jurisdictions in central Arizona and in the Phoenix area. And then we also wanted to engage stakeholders. So we had the opportunity to connect multiple times with our local landowner and developers in the community. And so we feel pretty good about the path, the input, and the vetting that went into what we're proposing tonight. So we are proposing an economic development incentive program that has three parts to it. There's the business attraction, building fee credit, and facade grant. The only thing I regret is not coming up with a more creative title to each of these three programs, right? But I think they kind of speak for themselves, so no need to get too creative to these. So first, we'll talk about business attraction and its purpose. So really what we want this program to do is to further business growth, right? So we want more growth. We want to diversify our economic base. We want these type of projects to enhance the skill set and the workforce, right? So that's the talent development aspect to it. And economic resilience is really just another way to say we want to diversify our economy, right? We want to be more than just a bedroom community. We want to enhance our tax base by reducing leakage. So we want to attract more of the goods in which people are traveling to other places. And we also want that job creation. And all of those things combined create, right, and enhance the quality of life. So what does a business attraction program do? At the very core, right, it's a reimbursement of up to 100% of the construction TPT for eligible improvements. Now, I'll get into the specifics, but essentially the business attraction program, again, provides a reimbursement of up to 100% of the construction sales tax for that project. So how does that work? Well, the project needs to be eligible, right? So they need to meet the eligibility. You can see that the project should advance one or more of these goals. So if a project comes to us and says, I'm going to create jobs, I'm going to increase the tax base, right? Then we now need to consider how this project meets the eligibility of what they're saying. So we go down the list and we say, okay, how is this project creating growth economically, right? How is this project maybe enhancing the workforce? So adding job opportunities, or maybe it's a particular industry that is bringing new skill sets. How is this project creating maybe an employment center or adding to the industry clusters that we have? How is it expanding the tax base? When we talk about commercial development, we can see a one-to-one correlation in which a commercial development could expand that tax base. And then also, right, is this going to attract other like businesses and or create, again, that economic diversification? So a project comes to us and they say, I want to take advantage of this business attraction and possibly have that construction sales tax be reimbursed. Well, first off, we ask the question, does it meet these eligibilities? Then there's a criteria. So once we get down the eligibility checklist, we look at the criteria, and the project must meet all of the following, right? So number one, most importantly, it has to be inside the town of Sahuarita. The project itself and where it's being proposed, that property has to be zoned for that proposed use. And then this is where we get into some hard numbers, right? So it has to generate over $1 million in construction costs, right? They have to create jobs, and they have to pay a Pima County median wage for the project's industry. So not everybody is going to qualify, as you can see, and specifically when we look at eligibility and criteria, it's really those companies that come into our community and say, we want to bring in this project, we believe it's going to do X, And we now consider how that X translates to Y based on the eligibility and the criteria. So how does it work? How does the mechanics of this program work? Let me just jump into the example. So a project comes in and we establish that they meet the goals and the criteria, and the project itself generates, for simple math, $1 million in hard costs. Well, what that incentive amount would be, essentially would be about $26,000. And AC can correct me if I have my math wrong, but the construction TPT is 4% of 65% of the project costs. Okay. Tracking the
Everybody
number?
okay on that?
Okay.
How you get there? Okay.
Okay. So that's how we get to $26,000 of what we're calling the total incentive amount. That's the incentive amount. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to receive all of the $26,000, because if we look at how we define the award, right, the award is a portion of the construction contracting attributed to the eligible improvements. So what are those eligible improvements? So the project, right, still keep in mind the $26,000. So the project needs to demonstrate, right, that they are making improvements in the public infrastructure arena, right? And so this is a sample of what those eligible improvements, public improvements are, right? Streetscapes, sidewalks, certainly infrastructure serving public use, ingress, egress, so turning lanes, improvements to intersections, maybe sidewalks, trails, and so on and so forth. So the project comes in, right? So I'll use a commercial project for just simplicity. And they establish that their project is $1 million. And that project, right, has off-site public improvements that are needed. Well, they can take that $26,000 and say, okay, here's my allowance, and here are all the public improvements that I, as a developer, are going to make. And so I would like to be reimbursed for those improvements. So they identify what those public improvements are, and if they total $26,000, they get $26,000. If they total $10,000, they get $10,000, right? So the burden is on the project to demonstrate, here's a list of all the public improvements that we've made, right, that has a public benefit, that serves the project, and so through this program, they would be reimbursed at $26,000. So I'm going to pause there for any questions there may be.
And, well, one of the possibilities is they would generate 26, but maybe only 10,000 of it would be eligible, potentially, depending on what those submittals would be.
Right,
from
right,
them.
yeah.
Any questions as he proceeds? No? Thanks.
Okay. Clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
All right. Okay, so how does this work? It's a disbursement, a reimbursement. So there's specific requirements that they're going to have to meet. So construction must commence, right, within 12 months, as well as reach certificate of occupancy within 36 months. So we are not just cutting a check of $26,000. They have to first make the improvements, and then that project has to open, right? And it's only after that that we begin the disbursements, or reimbursement, I should say.
Victor?
Yes.
So I just want to add here, we have to remember what fuels our CIP program, right? So, 100% of these taxes going back in terms of reimbursement comes at a cost to the town in terms of our ability or lack thereof in advancing our capital program for the community. So just want you to know, as staff, we're thinking about that, and we're trying to have a good balance between what we make available through this program that you would be authorizing, and just trying to have a good balance throughout it all.
Thank you, Shane. And as a big asterisk, each individual project that is considered for these programs will be brought back to the town council for what we are calling an economic development incentive agreement. And that's in which we would have the whereases, right? This is what the project does, this is how it meets the eligibility, here are the criterias. And to Shane's point, we will consider what that percentage is based on the ROI. And also to hold the CIP harmless as well for some of those projects. So there are penalties. Clawback is what we're calling them if they do not perform, right? So we go down the path. Everything looks good on paper. The economic development incentive agreement is executed. What happens if they do not perform? Right, so we do have costs, right, to recapture up to 100% of what that incentive award amount is. And we have costs if several things, if one of several things do not happen. So you can see on the slide there, right? So if construction does not start, CFO is not obtained within 36 months, we haven't issued a reimbursement at that point. So one or two things could be considered. One, we can evaluate the circumstances and the situation, and there could be maybe some latitude and some extensions granted, and or we can just say, this is just not, we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. If they operate, right, and everything's going well, but they cease operations during the 5 years following the CFO, we could also consider right, that they are not performing to the incentive agreement, and we can certainly have costs to go after, right, up to 100% of the award. Again, these are going to be on a case-by-case scenario, depending on just this, again, the situation that before us. Obviously, we want to be notified if there's any change of control, and then if applicable, the public access is failure to record or provide or maintain that public access. And again, some of this is going to be baked into the details of that economic development incentive agreement. And so rather than trying to plan for every situation and every deal, we wanted to overall bring forth a framework, right, and within that framework, for your consideration, adopt, and then per project, per deal, be able to come back with a development incentive agreement. Okay, so that was business attraction. The building fee credit, again, the purpose, similar to business attraction. We want this program to further business growth, diversify industry, bring talent, enhance skill sets, diversify our economy, and increase the quality of life. What is this? This is a fee credit, so may credit up to 100% of what is rezoning, plan review, building permits, and inspection fees for qualifying commercial, industrial, and mixed-use projects. This does not include wastewater connection fees, so that's off the table, as well as any third-party fees that are sent out for review. So how does a project become eligible? Again, the project must demonstrate one or more of the following goals, very similar to business attraction, right? So that project has to check the boxes off for us when it comes to growth, enhancing the workforce, right? Creating employment centers, or maybe that project will enhance the public infrastructure by the nature of what they're proposing to develop. And what is the criteria? Again, very similar to business attraction. They have to be in the town of Sahuarita, property zoned for the proposed use. They have to generate the $1 million in construction hard costs, create the jobs, and then pay what is the average wage for that industry. Okay, so how does this work? How does it look like when it comes down to numbers? You can see the example. So fee credit is based on building improvement valuation, and that's how you get building fees. How we get to building improvement valuation is based on occupancy type, type of construction, and square footage. So those numbers gives us the building improvement valuation, and then that building improvement valuation gives us the building fees. So here's an example. So if we have a building improvement valuation of 1.9 million, that is an estimated 22,800 in building fees. So that's how we get to that number, and it also gives you some context, right? When you think about what the amount of a building fee credit would look like for a project that's either, $1 to $1.9 million. So what needs to happen upon the applicant's formal submittal? So they have to submit, right, a complete project design document. So all things that are necessary to submit a successful building application and supporting documents, right? So they have to do that first, and upon them doing that, and us, or staff, I should say, community development, determining that they've submitted, right, a complete packet, and that's begun to be reviewed, then that's, at that time, we provide them with the upfront credit. So what does the clawback look like? If they don't perform, we can terminate the agreement or recapture up to 100% of the award. If the following things do not take place, again, very similar to business attraction. So if they fail to start construction within 12 months of approval of the agreement, and or fail to gain a certificate of occupancy within 36 months, then we can terminate or recapture. You can see that we are giving some flexibility in terms of providing right, an extension if need to, similar to the business attraction. If they cease to operate within 5 years, then we have cause, as well as any change of control without notification to the town. Okay, and then the last part is a facade grant. Very similar, right? So we want this program to help bring in new businesses, further growth. And this is going to be a reimbursement of eligible exterior improvements for a commercial, industrial, or mixed-use project, right? And so the program name says it all, right? It's for facade. And those improvements that right, address blight or functional obsolescence of that facility or building, and in combination of those things add to the marketability of that building, right? So what we want to avoid is having buildings sit vacant. They sit vacant, leads to blight, leads to vandalism, leads to buildings being less marketable. We don't have that issue here in Sahuarita, but having this program in place could certainly be of benefit for some in the future. And I think the example that comes to mind for everybody is Desert Sky Cinema. Okay, so again, to be eligible, the project needs to advance one or more of the following goals. Again, mirror image of the previous two programs. The criteria, so they must meet all of the following. The building age must be 20 years or older. So this is, again, a means to address some of the older buildings in Sahuarita. Not that we have that many, but as we age, our buildings are going to age. So this program could be a benefit to some of those buildings. Also, the building itself has to demonstrate that, right, there's blight, it's just been vacant for more than 12 months, right? So it's a means to incentivize the property owner, right, to make those improvements, or maybe they have a business that wants to come in, and those improvements are going to help lease that building much sooner. It does have some requirements, so minimum eligible project costs, $20,000. So the project needs to demonstrate that there's at least $20,000 of needed improvements. And so it could be a program that either the property owner or the tenant can apply for. If it's the tenant, then there needs to be written consent from the property owner. Okay, so how does it work? The town matches up to 50% of the total eligible costs. So the example below gives us some context. So building owner or the business approaches us and says, you know, my building's been sitting vacant for 12 months. I have this great user that wants to come in, but my costs are going to be about $20,000, and they meet all other criteria. Then you can see how the town matches $10,000, so 50% of that total project cost, right? So it's total project cost. If the property owner says, well, my total costs of making this improvements to the facade are $200,000, and they meet all the criteria, and we've vetted that out, then the town's match could be up to $100,000. We won't necessarily award $100,000, but we certainly have that latitude. So that's kind of how that works. So grant awards are based only on the portion of the project and its eligible improvements. I'll pause there. Any questions on the math? How that works? No? Okay. So eligible improvement, so the property owner, the project needs to demonstrate that these are the type of improvements in which they're applying or requesting this facade grant, right? So improvements to the exterior, facade, storefront, systems, windows, and doors, right? So everything that you can think of that is the facade of the building. Landscape can certainly be considered, or things that have a public benefit to it. ADA access improvement also is something that you find at times with some of the older buildings that may not be up to code, and or maybe some revisions have been made to ADA compliance and they've yet to come to age, so they can certainly identify those type of improvements, as well as signage. So if the signage on the building is part of that facade project, then that can be an eligible improvement. So how does the disbursement work? It's only after completion. So they need to demonstrate that the work has been done and paid for. And then there are some clawbacks. So we do have cause to recapture up to 100% of the award if the following things don't take place. Obviously, if they fail to achieve certificate of occupancy within 36 months, we can have cause. But we want these improvements to not only be made, but also to be maintained. So we'll be asking that if they fail to maintain those improvements or alter significantly during the 5 years following C of O, we have cause. If they cease to operate for more than 12 months, as well as a sign or change of control and or any violation of town code related to the improvements. And that's it. Fast and Furious. Happy to take any questions specific to this.
Yeah, no, thanks, Victor, and thanks for all the hard work. I was reflecting on when we went to the State of the Town for Oro Valley. They did a similar, when we did our study, remember years ago, about 75% tax leakage, and most of us were there. They just recently did something similar and found out how much was leaking into Tucson and the amount of revenue that was lost from doing that, which was kind of stunning, you know, that, because they're 20 years plus older than we are, so they're more mature in retail and things, and they see, you know, the necessity to try to do other things as well. I know we've done these sort of on a one-off basis. You know, definitely support it, because obviously giving you the tools and the toolbox to go out to the folks, because from my perspective, we're not just competing against Oro Valley and Marana, you know, the region's competing against Casa Grande and Maricopa, you know, County, which honestly is doing better from landing these projects. So I think, we have to have every tool, possible. I like the fact that it has to come back to us, after that. So there's a sort of our bite at the apple to be convinced, so to speak, of it. But I also think of, you mentioned Desert Sky, which was empty, not as long, but I think of, the Solaris restaurant that became Goitas, and it was empty, I think, 10 years or 12 years. And if that user had been in there, how much generation we would have had off of tax revenues for that. So those are the things that go through, my mind that, to again have it in your quiver as opposed to, well, we think we can do something, but you got to come back to us, to even have the first discussion on it, why I'd be in favor of it. But I'll open it up to any questions or thoughts or from anybody. No? I said everything? That's good. If not, I will entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move to approve the Sarita Economic Development Incentive Program.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before you adjourn this meeting.
I have one more, there's one more item that came out on an agenda.
Just kidding, I won't
That's
interrupt.
okay.
I don't see it on the current agenda.
Mr. Clerk, item 9A.
Presentation and discussion of state and federal legislative priorities for the upcoming legislative sessions.
And I apologize, this was added, a little bit late, but it did come out. Luke Smith, I don't know, when do we get not to call you new anymore? After a month, 2 months? Our new management analyst will present this item.
I don't know. Jessica was kind enough to remind me I'm still under probation.
Oh,
as a
okay, so it's new.
employee. So it's
new.
it's still
Jessica,
new.
you tell me when I can drop off the word new, okay?
All right. Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm grateful to have my first opportunity here as the management analyst to present to you this evening. And we're going to talk about the proposed 2026 legislative priorities. These were put together based on kind of the guiding principles of the town that you've elected for legislative objectives in the past, as well as a lot of staff input. We are seeking your feedback tonight on these proposals. And again, we'll talk about some of the objectives that kind of guided these. Our goal tonight, or my goal, is to present a broad overview of potential priorities, ongoing issues, upcoming issues, from both the town perspective and as presented by the Arizona League of Cities and Towns for your consideration to either include, exclude, or reprioritize. And so I've been challenged, so here goes. So in other words, you are the elected officials of the town. So if you see anything I put up there as inconceivable tonight, you're more than welcome to strike it down. And so I believe that was a Princess Bride reference and a Star Wars reference.
You got it. You're
Okay.
done now.
There you
He's
go.
no longer new.
I surpassed that. All right. Why do we talk about and establish these priorities? Well, one, to refine our focus and maximize resources in service of the town residents, to help staff and representatives respond effectively to issues that may arise, to provide context and talking points, kind of like your 30-second elevator pitch, when you have the opportunities to present the town's needs, and to enhance the town's reputation as active, engaged, and a knowledgeable leader on municipal government. What we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to go over kind of review some of the key objectives that act as guiding principles. Then I'll give you a little preview of the packet that's in front of you, kind of explain how that is organized. We'll discuss and present the proposed priorities, and then finally take a look at next steps and gather your feedback and insights into what we should do for this upcoming legislative session. The town's legislative priorities should reflect and advance the town's key legislative objectives, and I've heard these and done some research and kind of compiled these together. And so protect and local control and prevent erosion of municipal authority. Protect and bolster essential town revenue streams. Advocate on behalf of the town for its needs as a growing community. And prioritize public safety and community protection. And so through this filter, we've kind of put together these priorities to propose to you. The packet in front of you starts with a 2-page executive summary. It's the basis for this presentation. It highlights those objectives that I just outlined, and then also presents all of the legislative priorities and the associated strategies that we were going to recommend with each one of those. Then from there, after the executive summary, it's organized into 4 different parts based on how we're going to categorize or how we're proposing to categorize the priorities. The first category is active. These would be the high priorities for the town with dedicated resources in terms of time and energy that we will actively lobby for. The next category is specific or project-specific or objective-specific priorities. And these are more localized or things that the town can really take a leadership position on. General are broad policies that will engage as needed or as requested. And then passive priorities are ones that we will track to see if something comes up where it might be necessary to reprioritize what's going on. With each category, there's an outlined strategy. So for example, for active priorities, we're recommending actively seeking out inclusion in stakeholder meetings, submitting policy positions and statements, providing input on legislation affecting the town, advocate for state funding in partnership with relevant agencies and stakeholders, and then working to maximize regional intergovernmental collaboration for efficiency. From that point, we present the proposed priority, and and the strategic plan, the town's strategic plan is outlined there, so how it correlates. So for example, this one, advocate for collaboration with the Arizona State Land Department, would fit with our economic expansion and placemaking strategy, infrastructure and facilities, community well-being, and also if it correlates with any league or Arizona league strategies, then it's outlined there as well. Finally, there's a rationale and a position statement where to give you context and to give kind of that 30-second elevator pitch so you have some help in terms of what to say regarding the priority. And then that kind of outlines that packet there. I'll pause for any questions if there are any questions at this point. Are we good? Okay. So right into the priorities. A lot of these are ongoing or recurring, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on explanation unless you have a specific question. Just kind of present it and we'll go through it. But again, these are high priorities where we seek collaboration, we actively lobby, and we dedicate resources for. The first one, it's important to note that the number is for reference only. That correlates with your packet. It doesn't say that this should be the #1 priority of the town. It's just so you can follow along. So number 1, advocate for the streamlining of municipal annexation process and support orderly growth of municipalities. The second proposed priority is collaborate on workforce housing policy initiatives to promote affordable housing options while maintaining local control over implementation. Number 3, advocate for sustainable transportation funding through grants and partnerships to maintain and improve municipal infrastructure. Number 4, engage proactively in discussions on state shared revenues and rental tax replacement to protect municipal funding. Number 5, support responsible development of mining projects to promote local economic growth while ensuring environmental and community safeguards. Number 6, we have a good mining base here, but as we've seen a lot with the Elevate Ed AZ and with the economic development proposal, to grow that economic base, and so support the recruitment of development of industrial and high-tech commercial projects to strengthen Cerrito's economic base and create local jobs. And then number 7, support the redevelopment and annexation of formerly used defense sites or FUDs with state and federal partners to promote safe, productive community growth. That kind of wraps up the active priorities there. I will give a little more explanation of these ones because they're a little more specific and they're newer to what we are proposing. But these are tied to specific needs of the town or kind of local issues. So number 8, sorry.
Hey, Luke.
Sorry, yes.
Luke, let me just interrupt for a second. Perhaps it's a good idea maybe to pause there on our active list and get the council's response to that. Are you okay with that, Luke?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, he's the boss. So if we could get your guys' reaction to that list of active priorities, again, that's really at the top of our, on our radar. And have you guys react to that list, add to, take away, whatever you want to do to that list. Let's spend a few minutes there, and then we'll move on to the next category of specific priorities.
Yeah, I was fine when I was reading them and here and on there too. So I think it aligns with the things, but I'll take input from others on where they fall. And also remembering, well, a couple of things. One, Mr. Belshi, the executive director, retired, and I was up last Thursday and Friday, so we did select, at least to negotiate a contract with Nick Ponder, which is one of their chief lobbyists, to be the new executive director. So hopefully, he will be coming out and meeting with us, so we will be engaging, with him on that. And then also, if you remember, we also have the opportunity to serve on various subcommittees that a few of us have served on, where we can weigh in on some of these things, but at least from these particular priorities, open for thoughts and comments? Anything other? Think we're good, Shane?
Yeah, it was Shane, pausing here. With your input tonight, we'll kind of finalize and then present this in the next town council meeting.
Right.
The final.
And we'd also
agenda there.
have, I'm assuming, Shane, if, when studying this a little longer or at home, we can always get a hold of either you and/or Luke to dive in a little deeper or quantify, whatever.
Yeah,
it may
between
be.
now and in
December
December,
8th.
when we put it in front of you for final adoption, that kind of feedback would be great. Again, think about, as council members in our governing body, think about those things that are most important to you as an elected official and together as a group of elected officials. Somewhere, somehow, that probably ought to be discussed in terms of what needs to find its way on this list. And again, part of my sensitivity, the lens that I'm looking at this list through is also capacity in terms of what we can do. It's, you can have a huge comprehensive agenda, but if it's too much, you're not going to be very effective in getting hardly anything done, right? So we also want to tailor that in terms of really zeroing in on what's most important to us, realizing that every year we're going to have another stab at this, right?
And also, as a reminder, we're going to have a meeting in November before the December 8th meeting to kind of go through our not update necessarily, but the strategic plan, budget priorities, and those types of things. So we could also be brought at that point as well, correct?
Well,
I know it's going to be a full day.
I don't want to confuse the two necessarily.
Okay.
I can see some overlap, but our corporate strategic plan is really, anyway, yeah,
Priorities,
there
budgeting.
could be some overlap, but I definitely wanted to go through two different exercises with you. One, to adopt a legislative priority list or a legislative agenda, and then at your retreat, we're really talking about our corporate strategic plan.
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
I continue.
Thank you. So on to specific priorities, and, speaking of capacity, this is one that we could probably wait on, because our previous advocacy to repeal the sunset on CMAR was quasi-successful because it did get extended but not appealed. So the new sunset provision is extended till 2030. But number 8 is to advocate for the repeal of the sunset provision, construction manager at-risk contracting to ensure efficient infrastructure, project delivery and timely completion. Number 9, support modernizing public notice and meeting requirements to improve transparency, accessibility, efficiency, and to reduce or eliminate associated costs. So some of this includes, having the ability to post online only and not necessarily in printed, newspapers, which have decreased in readership and circulation significantly, and it's accelerating. And then also allowing smaller municipalities to hold multiple meetings in a single venue rather than multiple venues due to a lack of viable options sometimes. This helps reduce reliance on costly printed publications, which also have diminishing options, and then reach more residents through digital channels.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just wanted to say 100% yes. This is so antiquated that this should be a simple change that hasn't happened yet, but it is definitely behind the times to keep doing it the way they've done it. So I hope that one gets moved forward.
Thank you. And then number 10, support updating sentencing guidelines to ensure enforceable penalties for school zone drug offenses, protecting students and public safety. So this one came from our own legal department here, where a lot of the language tied to sentencing guidelines was based on marijuana being a felony. And with Proposition 207, when it said this is no longer a felony, there are sentencing guidelines that didn't get updated, and so it's unclear how to sentence or to like enforce some of these new school-related drug offenses. So it's just, putting the motion in place to update the language to reflect the changes in the law.
Could I have Justin weigh in on this one? Because I guess my question, not even concern necessarily, but maybe a concern, is, we can send up to the county, but it's up to the county attorney, right? In a lot of ways. I don't know how flexible they can be if it's a legislative change, but I know we've had issues, I would say, with what we think should be prosecuted at what level, but the county attorney is an elected position, so I'm just curious on how much influence we can have, either legislatively or how that cascades down to what a county attorney is going to do and not do as an elected person.
Yeah, and Mr. Mayor, members of council, in terms of the influence, it's going to be very little. This is primarily to at least provide the discretion available to those folks to be able to properly prosecute them. Whether they do it or not will still be a matter of discretion, but this will just, it's almost, for lack of a better term, more of a technical fix.
Right.
So that, because I don't think it was ever intended to create the inability to prosecute those. So it's really more of a technical fix, and then it truly is up to the community and, of course, leaders to insist on those
Right.
prosecutions happening.
Thanks for the clarification, appreciate that. Alrighty. I mean, that'd be great, but I just wondered, once we fix it, then it's a separate issue on how they impart justice or not.
Sure.
Is my concern. Thanks.
And then moving on from there, we were going to move into general priorities, and these are broad policy goals the town monitors, engaging as needed or requested. Most of these have not all come from the League of Arizona Cities, such as supporting the TIF tax, the tax incremental financing, supporting league efforts for short-term rentals, advocate for protection of public safety personnel retirement system, supporting league efforts to strengthen oversight on neglected and blighted properties, which was part of the economic development. 15, support league efforts to allow mid-year budget adjustments, and 16, support league efforts to extend transaction privilege tax. And so a lot of these, unless maybe the league specifically states, we don't necessarily need to weigh in on, but it's something we can have a position statement ready for in case they do ask. And then the last two here, passive priorities is things we monitor, see what's happening, and if we should weigh in or elevate a priority, is monitor streamline campaign committee termination procedures to provide clarity for municipal clerks. And 18, monitor efforts to reform the governance of special districts to stay informed on potential changes affecting municipal oversight. And I did add that last one in there because I know it was brought up in the previous town council about electric vehicle fees to offset gasoline taxes and help fund roads and infrastructure.
Yep. And, I think for me, this is a good list, but also as the legislative session starts, there's probably other things that are percolate to the top, right? And this is not a one all-inclusive list. We're going to have, between your work and my work with the league, we're going to have, and Karen Cruz, we're going to have other updates and other things might percolate or other thoughts as we work through this. So I wanted to throw that out there. I don't think this is necessarily a one and done, all-inclusive list.
No, that's a great segue to the next slide.
Oh,
and I think to Shane's point, I think to Shane's point, this is a very comprehensive list. So our part will probably be weighing capacity and then weeding out, what we don't want to focus on and what we do want to focus on. So that kind of hits the next steps. Based on your feedback, we'll compile and finalize the town's objectives and present those in the next town council meeting. This will guide our legislative agenda and strategy. And then, like the mayor said, we'll maintain flexibility to respond to other issues that may emerge or cause us to reprioritize some of the items.
And I don't know if we have Karen on tonight, but maybe one suggestion is, if not tonight, at the next meeting, if she can include, not in person necessarily, but anything that she's hearing as we're another month closer to the legislative session, maybe she can weigh in a little bit on what's sort of percolating to the top, because it might have, some of this might have changed, even between now and December 8th.
And forgive me, I meant to mention that she was on, and I meant to recognize her at the beginning.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Hi, Mr. Mayor and Council, I sure am, and I've been listening, and yes, I absolutely am happy to, and Luke and I have a system worked out to communicate with each other on a very regular basis and above and beyond that when needed. So I absolutely, as always, am keeping my ear to the ground, and he and I work very closely together, and we will for sure keep you apprised of any, little boogers that pop up, because they will.
Yep, thank you, appreciate that input.
So Mayor
Yes.
and Council, appreciate the feedback. We're going to gear up and provide you a final document at your December meeting. Between now and then, if you have additional thoughts, feelings, you're passionate about something, you think that the council ought to look at, those kind of thoughts, of course, getting it out on the table tonight would be great. What I'd like to try to avoid from happening is as a council, considering new things December 10th. When they're in front of you for the first time, you don't have a chance to really dive in and discuss. Now is really a good opportunity to get something out on the table, even if we don't really dive in deep. If you have something you think the council ought to champion, get behind, now's the time to do that. If you don't have it tonight, as soon as you can, and we'll broadcast it out to the entire council of staff, give you as much time as possible to kind of help weigh in and shape what this looks like for your December meeting. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but, from my perspective, all the things working with the league, these are the hot topics, at least from a league's perspective, because remember, anything the league promotes, though we can do it separately, it has to have statewide consequences.
Yeah.
Because every town has different priorities and things, but they try to promote it from a local control, statewide specific perspective.
And I'll put a shameless plug in for your retreat on the 24th. You were all given an email with a link for a survey, and we need you guys to respond to that survey so that we can have that kind of discussion that you need to have on the 24th.
They wouldn't let me have my birthday till I did it, so I did do it, so just to be clear.
Good, thank you.
On there. Any other questions or concerns? Again, open forum to get back to Luke and Shane in between as well. Good? All righty.
It's not going to get better. This is the time. If you guys have something you want to discuss, now is the time to do it. In terms of legislative priorities.
So when we were at Sawa, and the person that was the water guru for Governor Hobbs, and I forget the name of the law that was passed, but there was that whole discussion of water and active management areas and rural areas, the different needs between the northern part of the state, the middle part, and the southern part. And I think they were trying to come up with a uniform water policy, and I don't know whether that's possible, given that it varies so much between the different regions, what needs to happen, and that age-old struggle between Phoenix wanting to do a one-size-fits-all
Right.
and us wanting to maintain local control over local areas. But I was curious about that House bill that didn't pass, and it had to do with this water issue for the state at large. So I don't know if that's something to keep tucked in the back of the mind. I was very curious about that.
And Luke, are you familiar with any around that? There's a few, I won't get it right, how many active management water areas are, and really, the alfalfa for the Saudis, and those are being grown in areas where you can put a straw in the ground and suck as much water out. So the ability, the ones that have been successful, I would say, have been more in the active management areas as opposed to, but we're in one of those areas, but, maybe promoting it being better controlled statewide, I think is where Councilmember
I might
Priolo.
focus that question to Karen.
Karen, did you hear the?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hi, Mr. Mayor and council. Yes. So what Councilmember Priolo is describing, I think, is the Rural Groundwater Management Act,
Yes,
Rural
yes,
Groundwater
that's
Management
correct.
that has been discussed. It's very, there's a lot of tension around it. Some of the agricultural community and the ranchers and the farmers in the rural communities do not want to be regulated, but a fair number of them now recognize the value in having some regulatory framework, not necessarily a one-size-fits-all, because that clearly would not work all the way around the state, but to have a toolbox for when a water basin hits a very dangerously low level, what are the options to help buttress it and to keep it from falling into crisis and keep that community thriving? That's the task. What is partly, not confusing it, but what is partly muddling it up is the larger picture. If you zoom out, we are one of 7 states that receive Colorado River water. There are 3 lower basin states and 4 upper basin states that have been fighting about allocation for more than a year now. Discussions are not going well. Tomorrow is not a hard and fast deadline, but a deadline that the federal government had given to all of the basin states to come up with some sort of an agreement. But that is what is driving a lot of discussions around rural groundwater management. There is a sense of urgency to try to get a groundwater management tool passed by the legislature so that the upper basin states will quit beating us over the head with this, with this talking point that we pump water with abandon, therefore we don't have control of our water. So why would they give up more of their water to us when we can't control our own water resources? So it is a very tender, very, very tender discussion that's going on right now. There's a lot more that I could say about it, but that's sort of in a nutshell and very quickly the high-level readout of what's happening on water policy generally.
So Karen, do you think that would be, 'cause, again, we're in an active management area, but water and Colorado River affects us all. Would that be a good one that you think by having that added, we could add a voice of sanity, so to speak, to the issue?
I do, and I think that would be important primarily because Tucson is one of the recipients of Colorado River water, and they are very concerned about this because it's going to impact their water supply and potentially down the road could potentially impact our water supply down the road. So yes, Mr. Mayor, I think it's a great idea to add Colorado River to our priority list of issues that we're tracking and potentially going to be engaged in, for sure.
Good, okay. My colleagues, it's agreement to, yep, I see a lot of head nodding. Let's add that one. Thanks, Diane. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Yeah, and I see it ties in the issue about water because 2 of the priority goals, one was about mining.
Right.
And that's directly got to do with constituents of such concerns about water and mining. And then the other one was a data center. And that was one of the other economic priorities, so I see them all interlaced.
Yep, we need water
Yeah.
to do all these things, right?
Yes. And just for your information, I'm involved in the stakeholder process on addressing data centers. It's become more energy focused than water focused. A lot of the newer technologies that have been adopted are with closed loop systems at data centers, which is great for water conservation. The downside is it takes twice as much power to operate. And so, power transmission and generation has been an issue around the entire state. for a while now, and the entree of data centers, we have more than 150 data centers now around the state of Arizona already. And the alphabet soup, the Googles, the Metas, the Facebooks, all of those companies, the demand is just incredibly high for them. And Arizona is one of the states where they've focused on investing in these data centers. They're here, they continue to come. So we just need to be engaged in and ahead of the conversations about how that's impacting everybody else, and how the utility companies, how we can address some of the issues, maybe take some of the burden off of some of the utilities. And those are discussions that are being had right now, rolling into the legislative session. So perhaps for you to discuss, for you to decide whether data centers is something that you would want to add. It is, I think Luke had included it, generally speaking, in one of the talking points for us, or one of the issue points for us. But if it's worth it to draw it out separately for us, then we can certainly do that. Fine if not. I don't know if it's something that you feel strongly about.
Yes.
I would like it added because the data centers are a hot topic, and also our constituents are concerned about data centers with both the electrical use and the water use. And having enough electricity to power everything, whether it's data centers or anything else that we need to do in our state, it's an issue, and it's another resource that has to be, we need to be informed, and we need to not do anything that's going to blow up in our face down the road.
Okay, to maybe carve that out a little bit more? Okay with it? Yep, okay. Expand on that maybe a little bit? Because they will be a part of when I was at the league last week, that is going to be a topic of conversation on it, both from two sides. One, from moving into technology. If you want to have all of the capabilities that AI brings, you have to have them. So you're going to have a push-pull on this that I heard last week. Some of the folks that have been beneficiaries of this now are pushing back a little, and then other communities that are interested in getting them in the community. So there is going to be a push-pull, against it. So at least having it on our table for discussion, I think, would be important. Shane?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we're being helped in the direction that we're being provided by the council. So I look at your active priority number 5, and it says, it's responsible mining development. So support environmentally safe mining projects that contribute to local economic growth. So that's a very positive thing where what we want to put our efforts behind is responsible mining projects. Okay, responsible means that, they are good stewards of the resources that they are using.
Right.
And so that's a different take than on the opposite side, right? So is it a similar take on responsible use of our water and power resources? Is that kind of the angle of this legislative priority, is that we want to champion those types of uses? Just help me understand.
Well, from my perspective, it would be, obviously me supporting all of these industries, but in a responsible, way on how they might come, to our community. But certainly, I would say from a positive perspective, I wouldn't want it hamstrung, a one-size cookie-cutter size from the state because of some bad actors.
Because
that's
we are not in the water business as a town.
Right.
I wish we were, but we're not in the water business as a town. We're certainly not in the power business of a town. So our efforts to impact those things would be done legislatively. It would be done through the state legislature, through the ACC. We would use our resources to champion whatever kind of direction we got from the council as it relates to this item.
Right. And I think some of it would be it would depend on what the bill is, I guess, that would be coming to us, whether we're behind it, neutral, or, opposing it. So I guess for me, it would be hard to know. But, responsible use, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, most people know my position on whether it's mining or data centers or anything else. We're open for business, but in a, high-quality way.
We might look to maybe amend the language on some of these to include that component as opposed to creating a whole new line item. So if that makes sense, where we're talking about the industrial, high-tech, commercial development, perhaps we add language in there relative to the responsible use of scarce resources, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
And that gives us a little bit of flexibility in what we choose to engage in and what we don't engage in, if that makes sense to the council.
I like that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Almost at wrap-up, you wanted a
Yes, I
point
wanted
of
to make-
maybe personal privilege or something? I'm
Yes,
not sure.
just wanted if everybody would join and say, happy birthday, Tom. We're not going to sing
Oh,
because
jeez.
it's recorded and on YouTube and
Happy
nobody wants to
what?
sing. You're going to sing? You can do a
No,
solo.
no, I'm singing.
No singing?
You
We
want
have
to
to go to
sing?
E-session,
I'd
so it's going
sing.
to take longer.
Is everybody willing to sing? All
Yeah.
right, let's sing happy birthday. We're going to do a happy birthday, Mayor Tom.
Oh, jeez.
Okay?
Yay.
Okay, here we go.
I'm turning it off.
Happy birthday
Happy birthday
to you.
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, dear
Dear
Tom.
Mayor Tom.
Happy birthday to you. Yay.
That was-
For my present, we're going to E-session, so I don't expect any more public business after the E-session, so no one has to, I would say, stick around. But we'll take a 5-minute break and then go upstairs. Thank you.
You got to move. You got to take a motion to go into E-session.
Make a motion that we go to E-session.
I would do it.
We have
I would do a motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor,
Yeah.
signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to E-session.
Good night, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Dude.